What's up, everyone? It's your boy NornRad89 here, bringing you another video. Today, we are going to be talking about the finale, season finale of Obi-Wan, the series. It's over. It's 6 episodes. I definitely wish one thing. It was a couple more episodes longer. I'm always a proponent of more episodes, like for real. Like all these series, I just feel like the episode length isn't my jam. I wish there was a couple more, but we're going to get into the details. Of course, talking spoilers today, so if you haven't seen it, you need to go run out and check it out. It's currently on Disney Plus, and then come back so we can talk about it. Roll it. So the season finale of Obi-Wan, oh man, they hit us with some very potent emotional moments, a lot of good payoff moments, and it's a lot of moments. This is an episode filled with moments, but I'll tell you one of my main negatives right away is, like I said, it still feels rushed. I feel like I could have had another episode or two, and they could have stretched out some things. Some people think that they had too many episodes. I actually saw some people talk about how they felt like there were too many and they had just carrying storylines to just drag stuff on. But I actually think we could have did with a couple more episodes. But this one is still a banger, and like I said, packed with emotional moments. Main one being that Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, we do have another tussle, another fight with them, so let's get right into that. Let's talk about that. In terms of the fight and how it played out, I think it was really cool. It showed off a lot of force strengths. The lightsaber dueling was a lot of similar to the more of the style of New Hope. It wasn't as flashy and all kind of crazy like, the prequel trilogies. It's very much getting more tamed in terms of the lightsaber dueling. It's more force using and force connection. Like just the scenes in general. I like how Vader tries to bury Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan kind of creates like the force little cradle shield around him to protect him from the rocks from crushing him. So there's a lot of good unique uses of the force in this show. The only thing I have a problem with is it does kind of hurt the original series a little bit in terms of showing off what Vader and Obi-Wan can do, because New Hope, I think, is only about 8 or 9 years after this event of like this tussle between Vader. I think the next time they meet each other is about 8 or 9 years after that, and it's the power levels is vastly different. It's just really hard. I know that back in the day when George Lucas did those first 3 films, we didn't have the capability and the special effects to do a lot of stuff that he was dreaming to do, you know what I mean, in terms of the sword fight, lightsaber battles, and the models and the ship battles was much more a highlight of the old series, you know what I mean, not the lightsaber battles. The lightsaber dueling became much more a focus in the prequel trilogy, and like I said, you could kind of tell in this show how they're trying to explain a little bit how, the lightsaber dueling and how it changes going into the Rebellion and Empire era and stuff like that. But I still think the duel was great. The fact that we get that moment that's very similar to Star Wars Rebels when Obi-Wan strikes Vader and cuts the mask, and we get to actually see Anakin talk and see his face, and it has like it has like a little bit of the James Earl Jones like Vader voice, but mixed in with Anakin's real voice talking over it. Like, that was a really cool moment, and I think it paid off just as good as it did in Star Wars Rebels when we saw him fight Ahsoka. Another thing we have to talk about is Reva, of course, or Reva, however you say her name. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but I think it's Reva. That's what I said. I think that's how you say it. Reva's and her journey into going to find Luke Skywalker, which I don't think she knows it's Luke and that it's Vader's child or anything, but she goes there looking for, Owen and Peru and their farm to go track down Luke, and that's kind of coinciding with the Vader battle. I don't think they're going at the same time, because if they were going at the same time, like the way it plays out, there's some weird writing conveniences, and that was one of my other main problems with the show, is there's a lot of writing conveniences and inconveniences throughout this entire series. But I still think the payoff and the stuff going on and where we get to the end of the show, it still has a good payoff and good moments. Was it necessary? I'm going to say not really. Like, that's one major thing I can say. Like, I had a blast. I'm very biased because I love Obi-Wan Kenobi as a character. Like, I had a lot more fun with this show than I did Book of Boba Fett. I'll tell you that right now. But my main thing is that this show didn't really do anything new besides introduce new characters that they could branch off and do new series with. Everything else there was no revelation. We basically assumed that Obi-Wan did learn the Force Ghost stuff from Qui-Gon, and we do get our scene at the end with Qui-Gon Jinn, you know what I mean, showing him, he's like, you weren't just, you aren't ready to see me yet. Now let's go. We got a lot of stuff to do. You know what I mean? So we already kind of, as Star Wars fans, assume that. We already know that he stayed back and watched Luke and kind of, we didn't know he had this moment where he had met young Leia and had a mission with her and really connected with her. They're cool moments. That's what I mean. This is a show that focused mainly on the moments, the emotional moments and the payoffs. And like I said, setting up other characters to branch off, like Reva's character, how she has a redemption at the end of this episode. And when Obi-Wan Kenobi has that conversation with her, it's very much him opening up her eyes to that your path is free now. It's your choice and you can do whatever you want. And now she can have her own series or her own comic book series or her own novel. And in terms of episodes, I wouldn't say this is my favorite episode. I think this is probably like my second favorite episode. This had a really good payoffs and a lot of emotional moments. I got really kind of emotional and teary-eyed, especially when Obi-Wan was talking to young Leia about the traits that she got from her mother and the traits that she got from her father. So that was a really nice tender moment that I enjoyed seeing, but I wouldn't say this is my favorite episode. I'm going to be actually popping out a video on my channel ranking all the episodes. I'm going to rewatch them again and kind of get my feeling on them. Like I said, this is just talking about the season finale one, but I think this was a strong way to end it, and especially where we are with Obi-Wan, Leia, Luke, and how they had their moments with everybody, and then Qui-Gon you see at the end with Obi-Wan, and they just go on their path, and now Obi-Wan's going to do his training to become a Force ghost. I think this is a great way to end the series. I really don't think you need a season 2. Like I said, I wanted a couple more episodes just to feel more stuff, to spend more time with these characters, because they haven't greenlit a season 2 yet for sure. But I really don't think you need a season 2. I think it just ends perfectly where it is, and I like the moments we had. But I'm pretty sure we're going to end up seeing characters like maybe Kumail Nanjiani's character. He might pop up again, the actress that plays young Leia, like who knows, maybe we're going to get more TV shows about Alderaan and her growing up and becoming more of a politician. Reva, she can have her own show, her own book, you know what I mean? This was basically a show just opening up the doors for broadening the horizons for the Star Wars universe. And I know some people have a lot of problems with that. I got into conversations on Twitter with some people about how Star Wars is focusing on just kind of the same characters, just Leia, Obi-Wan, it's Vader, it's all the same characters we know, but we have the Mando show. We have, the Book of Boba Fett, Fennec Shand. Like, there's a bunch of characters that have been introduced, and through these Disney TV shows, they have really broadened the horizon of Star Wars universe, of different characters, and made it more three-dimensional. I wouldn't say quantity is always the best. I definitely prefer quality over quantity, because I'm an old school Star Wars fan, so I'm used to waiting like 5 to 10 years before I see any more Star Wars content. So I still have to get really used to, like, every 3 months there's a new show, and then in probably another year there's going to be a new movie, and then another 2 years another new movie. You know what I mean? I have to get used to so much Star Wars content, but I still had a blast with this show and much more fun with it than Book of Boba Fett. Like I said, my main problem, number one problem with the show, I'll tell you right now, is it still feels unnecessary. It feels like by the end of it, I didn't learn anything new and I didn't see anything new. That's the only problem. I still had fun with the show and I love the moments, and I freaking like Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I enjoyed spending time with his character and seeing Ewan McGregor again and Anakin, Hayden Christensen come back as Anakin. These are moments I'm never going to forget. But like I said, in the end, I still think the show was a little unnecessary in terms of not really revealing anything that we didn't know. But thanks for sticking around with me all for this chat of the season finale for the Obi-Wan series. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of the show. How are you feeling about this show? Do you want a season 2, or are you cool with how they ended it for this first season? I would love to hear from all of you. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing on the channel, because I'm going to be ranking all the Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes as well. And then I'm thinking about ranking all the different Star Wars live action series that they came out and seeing which one comes out on top. Have a safe and happy day, everyone. Peace out.